up, everybody? This is Drew, Radio13.fm. I am here with the multi-talented Aaron Michaels. So excited to sit down and chat with you again, brother. It's been a few months. How you been?
Man, seems like it's been longer than a few months, man.
Yeah,
seems
I think
like
the
it's
last
been a while, you know?
it could be a year, actually.
Yeah.
I think,
we chatted back and forth, you know, a little bit, but,
yep.
You know, we haven't done an interview. I haven't seen you, and it's been over a year, you know, since you came to Tulsa.
Yeah, it's been a bit, man. It's been a bit.
And your wife won that guitar. Remember that?
Yeah, I've got it hanging on my wall over here. I stole it from her. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. If my camera wouldn't go out of focus as soon as I move it, I'd show it to you, but it's hanging on the wall.
Well, that's good. I hope she's enjoying it. Maybe did she at least learn how to play a little bit?
No, not at all. Not at all.
No? Well, there's still time.
It looks good hanging in the studio, man.
Right. That's good. That's good.
So
hey, just been busy, you know, with all the Aaron Michaels stuff and then the Resurrection Records, you know, stuff going on. And
I think I kind of want to talk about all of that, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's talk about Aaron Michaels first. So since the last couple months, you've dropped an unbelievable praise and worship song, God of Miracles.
Yeah.
That is phenomenal. We've spun that quite a few times. That is actually in our Newish at Noon rotation. So that's being played.
Well,
and then you go ahead and drop Change. Dude, that. And I think it's aptly named because change is a change of direction, I think, for Aaron Michaels. You got a little screamo.
You know, you said you wanted more screamo, so.
Oh, dude, I love that song, man. I've been playing that a lot. Been playing that a lot. So, what's with going a little screamo, man?
Well, you know, when we first started out back in like 2019 or whatever, with kind of bringing back the Aaron Michaels brand and stuff, you know, we weren't that heavy. We were, you know, at most, you know, kind of third day-ish, you know.
You're a little heavier than third day.
Not our early stuff. Maybe a little bit, but it wasn't real heavy, you know. And you know, our first gig that we did was with Seventh Time Down and We Are Vessel. That's where I met Randall at.
Okay.
And so after we did that, we played with 7 Day Slumber. And then after that, it was like, I mean, we did some stuff with We Are Messengers and Sidewalk Prophets. And then we did some festivals, some rock festivals with Spoken and Disciple and, you know, Zana and just all these other heavy bands, you know. And it just seemed like that was the genre that was accepting us, you know. And that's who was inviting us to come play. And so we were like, man, we're like I don't know, man. We were just like, God, we're going to have to do something, you know, because we're just not heavy enough playing with these bands, you know. And so
you guys put out a song like Trust, right? Trust isn't a metal song. It's not a heavy song. It is in my top 10 songs of all time.
Yeah,
I kid you not.
Well, that song for us was that was our first song off of Broadhead Music Group, you know, when we got signed with them. And that's a song that me and Randall wrote together. And it was kind of an introduction of our newer sound, you know. And it wasn't heavy, like you said, but that was kind of our old sound and what we were going towards a little bit, you know. Because we knew we were going to write some heavier stuff, but Randall wanted to kind of ease into it a little bit. And so that's what we did. And, you know, we just kind of talked about it and we were like, we're going to have to write some heavier music and have to start playing heavier music if we're going to keep this thing going, you know.
If we're going to have Drew play it on Radio 13, we got to come up with something heavier.
That's right. That's right. Well, and that was a problem too. You know, a lot of the stations wouldn't play our older stuff because it wasn't heavy enough. You know, it wasn't what they were looking for. And you know, we had a few stations playing it. Who was it? God Rock. He passed away this past year, but Matt, he was a big fan of ours early on, and we had a few other stations, but not very many would play the older stuff. And what kind of kicked it off though was our song "Taking My Time" won an award. It won Single of the Year. It was called the Tulsa Music Awards.
Yep.
And it was an Oklahoma thing. You had to be from Oklahoma. You had to be from that area to get in the awards. But like Stars Go Dim was in it because he's from Tulsa, and some different artists like that. But anyway, we ended up winning Single of the Year. We won New Artist of the Year. And we won Christian Artist of the Year. We won 3 awards that year. And
that's awesome. Is that an early Christian award, or is it secular Christian? The Tulsa Music.
It was everything. Yeah, all kinds of genres.
Wow. So we get band of the year.
Now the Christian Artist of the Year. Like I said, Stars Go Dim was in that one, and some other like a bluegrass band that I know was in it. But that was a Christian category. But the other ones, we were up against secular artists and things like that.
Wow, that's great.
Artist of the Year and New Artist of the Year and Single of the Year. So the Single of the Year, Taking My Time, won against, it was all secular people.
Wow.
So
I don't think I ever played that.
But that's kind of what made that song kind of take off, It got a lot of exposure for those awards because it was publicized. It was on TV and all kinds of stuff around here.
Nice.
So
I think the first one we played of yours.
What was it?
In and Out. I think.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good too. I like that.
Now that one's probably one of that's probably the heaviest song on that album.
I know. I remember when you reached out and said, "Hey, do you play Aaron Michaels?" And I think you caught on because I tagged, I think it was Zana or something, and you and Zana must go back a ways. And hey, you play Aaron Michaels. So I went through your CD and I went, oh, this one sounds a little heavier. I can play that one.
All right. Yeah. So,
but
that probably was the heaviest one at the time. So,
yeah. So you go praise and worship, you go screamo, which I absolutely dig. And in the meantime, you're like starting a label. How do you seriously do it? How do you just decide? And one day I'm sure it's a God thing. And God's saying, Aaron, start a label. And you're like, yeah, whatever. And then how do you actually listen to that? I mean, and go, okay, I'm going to start a label. I'm just going to jump off the deep end. That's crazy to me. When I heard you were doing that, I'm like, God, dude, it's nuts, man.
Well, I tell people when they ask, it's kind of like, I feel like Noah when he was building the ark, probably. Like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And how am I going to do this? I know it's totally different things, building a boat and starting a label, but I'm sure Noah didn't know a whole lot about building an ark, when he started. I really, I kind of knew what I was doing, when I started the label, but not to the extent of where we're at now, Wow. And but I'll tell you what happened is, just being on the road with Randall and building 429 the past couple of years and all these different artists that I got to work with and just talking to everybody and just getting more involved in just being an artist, if that makes sense. Learning the radio part of it, learning the, publicity part of it, all the different sides of it. Honestly, I was coming to the end of my contract with Broadhead Music Group, and one day out of the blue, my wife, because we were talking about, should I sign back? I don't really know what I'm going to do yet. And my wife was like, why don't you start your own label and do what Randall did for you for other artists? And I was like, I don't know. I never really thought about it a whole lot, And so that kind of got me praying about it and thinking about it a little bit. And, on the last couple of runs that we did with Randall, I kind of mentioned it to him and asked him what he thought about it, and he's like, man, I think it would be cool, And
that's pretty cool that you have that kind of support from now a former label.
Right. No, it is. And, when I first started talking about it, we were going to kind of work together, kind of like partners, like a sister label to Broadhead. And I can't really tell you why that never really happened. And that, I'm not saying that's not going to happen,
Right.
But we just never really talked about it anymore after that.
Sure.
And we've talked, a few times here and there since then. And, I messaged him the other day when I found out he was going to be on Winter Jam. And I just congratulated him, and we've chatted, back and forth. And he's like, man, we need to talk. I was like, yeah, we do. It's been too long. So,
yeah.
But
yeah, he seems like a good dude. Seems like a really good dude. So when
he is,
you
man,
told me,
he taught me a lot, and he got me, where I'm at today. And we're not far from being done. We're still trying to get out there and trying to do our thing. But Randall really helped us get our name out there and get good produced music out there. And I really appreciate him for that. And I know all his artists, appreciate him for that. And the dude works harder than anybody I know. And, if he's not out there playing, he's, renting his PA out, or he's leasing his bus out, or he's constantly doing something,
Wow.
And I just, it takes a lot to be a full-time musician. I still have a day job and do all that, but it takes a lot to get out there and do that every single day, and make it.
I can't even imagine.
So anyway.
So when you told me the story when you're raising money for Trust, the song Trust, to get it out there, that
Right.
you sold your Victory motorcycle to fund
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I would imagine funding a label has to be more expensive. What'd you sell this time? You didn't sell like your firstborn thing, did you?
Well, I haven't sold anything else, not yet. So,
All right.
But no, it's doing well.
Well, let's talk about your artists.
Backing up some credit cards, but
yeah. So some of your artists, let's kind of go through them.
Okay.
B Wade. What's the scoop, man?
So B Wade is from Bartlesville, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And he's a rapper. And I met him at a festival called Freedom Fire 2020.
Okay.
And his merch tent was right next to mine. And that's the show I was telling you about when we opened up for We Are Messengers.
Yep.
That was a huge show. It was at a time during COVID, had just kind of came out. This was like in September. And COVID kind of happened around March, April, when it really started, people started staying home and all that. And this had been planned for a while. And they were like, we're just going to do it. We're going to step out in faith, and we're just going to do it. And they got We Are Messengers to come, and Leanne Crawford. Are you familiar with her at all?
I am not.
Okay, well, she was there, and she's gotten a lot bigger since then. But anyway, I met B Wade there. He played, and it's funny because the guy that put it on is a college basketball coach. And B Wade used to, he was going to play for him at his college. He was a highly recruited basketball player, B Wade was. And he messed up and got into selling drugs and got got caught and he got put in prison. He was in prison for 9 years. And when I had met him, he had only been out for about a year and a half, I believe. Okay. And while he was in prison, he got saved and wrote a ton of songs while he was in there. He got a master's in theology on, and in Christianity or whatever, and just really studied while he was in there and was a changed person when he came out. And
that's what's so cool is God can take our screw ups and still use us for his plan.
Yeah, for sure. And man, I kind of get choked up when I talk about it because when I talked to him that day, I just felt a connection, like, oh man, I'm sorry. But almost like, he needed a father. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm just searching.
Yeah. And anyway, I just never forgot about him. He just never went off my mind. And we kept in contact a lot. And when I started the label, I told him, I was like, I really would love to support you and put you out there and help get the word out about you because, he's going to change lives that we can't ever even touch.
Right.
With his testimony, and so anyway, we're gonna release his stuff next year, first of next year, 2025,
nice.
And he's got 3 songs recorded, and they're bangers, man. They're good, and we're gonna do some. We're planning on doing some collaborations with some heavier, kind of some rock, rap.
Nice.
And so yeah, that'll be good. But yeah, that's B Wade, man. And like I said, he's on fire, and his testimony of that's what a lot of his songs are about, man. Is just him and his story, and him being set free from all that. And God's definitely not done with him yet, and he's just getting started. So
next one is Tricord. They released 1 so far off of your label, right?
2.
So the last one they released, their latest one, again, that has a little screamo in it, man.
Yeah. Are you talking about What You Got?
Yes, What You Got. Love that. Absolutely love that.
Yeah.
So
they released their first one.
Yeah.
With Resurrection Records called Fix Me. I don't know if you've heard that one, but you need to check it out too.
Dude, it's in the rotation, man. Do you ever listen to the station? It's in the rotation.
I do. But yeah, that was their first one off Resurrection Records. So Fix Me. So
all right. I was thinking that came right before they signed with you. And then 3 Days Under, I absolutely love this band. 3 Days Under. Oh man, I dig on these guys hard.
Yeah, well, both those bands I had played with before a couple of times, and like I said, man, sometimes you just meet a band and you have that kind of instant connection with them, and then there's others you're just like, okay, cool, nice to meet you, but you don't.
So the lead singer for 3 Days Under, name his lead singer, Patrick. Has he ever missed an arm day at the gym?
Oh, that's funny. I don't think so. No,
dude, I saw him.
He's a Marine, so
I tell you, man. I'm gonna tell you a little class story about Patrick. So 2 years ago at Kingdom Come, they're up there playing, and like most festivals, the stage is running behind. So It's their turn to go up and play. So they go up and play. And, most bands will give testimony and stuff like that in between songs. Patrick goes, you know what? I know we're running behind. I know, there's 2 stages going on. He goes, we're going to go ahead and skip, what we normally say, but I want you to come over to our merch table. We'll talk all about it then. We're going to cut one of our songs up just to get us back on track. something that little, I looked at that and I went, dude, that is a class move. Class move. You know, just because, you know, people are sitting there and they're trying to juggle which stage I want to go to. And I really wanted to interview him there at Kingdom Come Festival, and I never got a chance. The dude's all over the place, man.
Yeah.
I was gonna trip him, but I
ADHD
it up.
a little bit. So, but no, those guys are great dudes, and you know, they've released 3. Shedding Skin was the first release off Resurrection Records, and then Fruit of the Flesh.
Great song.
Was our next one.
Great.
Yeah, I love that song. And you know, they collaborated with Big Rev, one of our rap artists, on that one.
Yep.
And then I know it's been sent out, but I don't know if you've heard their newest release called My King. But
I do not have that yet. I was going to download that. I haven't downloaded it yet.
it is amazing, man. It's something that like they've never done. It's real mellow, and it's
Okay.
a ballad. I keep telling them it's going to be the next. It's the next Jesus is King, in my opinion. So
Wow. Well, we'll definitely grab that. So the next one I want to talk about is Reborn. So they were the second artist to ever reach out to us.
Okay.
We started this station in, I think it was March. Well, I know it was March. It was March 13th at 1300 hours, Radio 13.
Right.
But they reached out to us. We played Ready to Fly. I think that was their first single. And we've been with them, and they've been with us ever since. I love that band. That Ryan Garza, man, he's a good dude. Good dude.
Yeah, he is. No, that, you know, I kind of followed them around, just kind of keeping up with them and their ministry. And I had signed another band from San Antonio, Becoming Sons. And I realized that Reborn was from San Antonio too. And so I was like, how cool would it be to get another band from San Antonio, right?
There you
go. You know, there was their drummer, Rob. I'd kind of prayed with him, you know, because of, I think it was his niece.
His niece was in that San Antonio
Guild in that school, yeah.
The school, yep.
And anyway, we kind of built a somewhat of a relationship then, you know, and so whenever I noticed they were from San Antonio, I was like, man, I'm gonna call them and just see what they think, you know, and because I love their music, I love their heart, you know, like you said, I just love their ministry, and they, like I said, they were excited, they accepted, and so. You know, they just had a brand new single come out a couple of weeks ago called "Heal the Broken."
It's already in the rotation, brother.
For them,
I tried to be the first station to play these when they first dropped.
Right.
So I grabbed that one as soon as it was available and threw it in the rotation. And it's one of those things. Is like I said. I mean, I love their music, but more importantly, I love their ministry, and that's me with all artists. You know, the music is great, it's awesome, but the ministry is what, you know, propels me to you know, really get in with these bands. So
right. Yeah. Super guys.
And then Becoming Sons, you mentioned.
Right.
Trey Tater.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, love that. I mean, I only have one song of his in rotation.
Well, that's because that's all he's got right now.
I thought he had a couple of them. I thought
he does have a few other ones, but some of them are like instrumentals.
Okay.
Don't have lyrics yet.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I love Trey, man. I heard about him. I was just kind of going through stuff, and I saw him on the it was a top 15 countdown.
Okay.
And so I just saw his name, and I looked him up on Spotify, and the first song I heard was "The Journey," and I was like, "Man, that's pretty cool. I like that," you know.
Yep.
And so
You
I
know,
looked
you could have
at
said I first heard him on Radio 13 because I was playing him before you signed him. So you could have said that just to make me feel better, man.
That's right. That's right.
So
But
yeah, I look over your stable of artists and I'm like, did Aaron just look at my playlist and start signing everybody that we
I probably did, man. You sounds like you played them all.
with the
But
exception of B Wade, never we didn't have him. Crimson Overtone, which I don't know why because I really dig their sound.
yeah.
And Damac, I didn't have, or Big Rev. So there's 4 out of the 12 I didn't have.
So you had Stain Red already?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, love them too, man.
Yeah, Stained Red. Their new track is ridiculous.
Oh man, Wolves. Woo.
Yeah, yeah,
Man,
and
the lyrics
the
in
art,
that song.
the lyrics and the artwork.
Yeah.
I love the artwork where it has the wolf in the sheep clothing.
Like
It's
coming
just
out. Yeah.
yeah. No, I love those guys too. So yeah, there's not a artist you have. You know, usually you look over, and I don't know how you started out with this many. First of all, it blows my mind. But usually when you look at, a list of artists out of a bigger label, in which you just went into a bigger label, you have 12, right?
12, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's a good sized label for just starting out. Usually I have 1 or 2 artists that you kind of go, nah, no, they're okay. I'm not gonna play them, but they're okay. But there's not a single artist that I wouldn't play. So
Wow. Well,
you
that's
done
awesome.
well, kid. You done real well.
Well, when I first started, I signed Tricord, I signed 3 Days Under, and I signed Becoming Sons. And it just seemed like after that people started contacting me, and then Tricord called and said, "Hey, I have a buddy that's in this band, Crimson Overtone. You should check them out." Blah blah blah, and and that's just kind of what happened. And I was like, God, if you want this to really grow, you're just going to have to do it, and you're going to have to, guide my steps and tell me who you want to be on this label and how many you want. And I spend a lot of days just praying, a lot of nights just praying. And he gave me the number 12. And so that's why I chose 12.
Nice.
And that's where I'm stopping right now. I've probably had over 100 bands submit, their stuff and want to be a part of this team. And I just feel like it's hard enough to try to represent 12 bands right now.
Can't even imagine.
And I feel like if I added any more, it wouldn't be fair to them.
Right.
And so that's where I'm going to stop. And but yeah, man, I when I started it, I didn't really know how many I was going to sign. I never dreamed it would have been 12. But like I said, God has provided and just shown me what I need to do and who he wanted me to sign. And at first it was becoming overwhelming for me because I was a one-man show.
Yeah.
I was doing everything, from radio promo to social media stuff to everything. I mean, I was it, and
I resemble that remark.
yeah, you know how that goes, don't you? But I was talking to you probably know him, but I just had a brain fart now. He was on Rockfest, Matt Sassano.
Oh, yep.
But anyway, yeah, I had reached out to Matt and was talking to him, and he was telling me about some people that he kind of had on his little team that he has, and so I reached out to Mary Nickel. She does the Rock on Purpose page,
Yeah, I'm on her email blast. She sends out so much great information.
Right. And so I called her and we had a great talk for over an hour. And so she does all of our press releases, you know, all that kind of stuff. And so she's been a big help as far as that goes.
Nice.
And then Patrick called me one day and he said, "Have you ever heard of Jen Lemaris?" I said, "No." And he was telling me about Jen, and he's like, "You ought to call her, just see, you know, what you think." And do you know who Jen Lemaris is? Lemaris Productions.
Nope,
Okay.
I do not.
Well,
I know of the name. I don't know them.
right. Well, she worked with Rockfest Records for several years and helped out with their social media and some radio stuff. Not a whole lot, I don't think. And so, anyway, I guess Patrick had used her to promote one of their singles one time or something to kind of do a social media plan, things like that.
Okay.
And so I reached out to her and we talked, and she was very interested in, you know, helping out. And so she does all of our social media, you know, plans as far as all 12 artist pages. Helps them out with ideas for, you know, just when they're going to release a single, you know, what to post, when to post it, you know, just stuff like that. And also is involved with our radio promotion. She sends out a lot of the stuff that you guys get. I still do a lot of it too, but she also helps with that. And so anyway, you know, she's been a big help and taking a lot of the weight off my shoulders. And so I really appreciate that. And so anyway, yeah, that's kind of our team right now is, you know, the three of us. And we just all kind of work together. And, you know, DeMac, you brought up DeMac earlier. I met him at it's called Faith and Freedom Fest. It's a big festival, 4th of July festival here in Kansas, Oklahoma. And I think the first year that I met him, I think 7 Day Slumber was there. But there's always a big headliner. You know, Jordan Feliz has been here. Sidewalk Prophets, Stars Go Dim did it one year. They always bring in a pretty big headliner, and then they bring in other artists too. But anyway, I met DeMac there, and man, like I said, I fell in love with his enthusiasm and his just his energy, man. And I don't know if you've ever seen his merch table, but it's like 8 tables long. It's so big, man. And he has all these like stuffed animals and just all kinds of cool stuff, you know. And I was like, dude, I've never seen a merch table that big.
He shows up a day early just to set up the merch table.
No, he really does. Seriously, yeah. No, that's not a lie either. But anyway, I got to talking to him and like I said, kind of, you know, kept in contact with him. And so when I started the label again, I just reached out to him, see if he'd be interested, you know, and he was like, heck yeah, you know, let's do this. And so anyway, he, you know, he is a genius at this stuff. He really is. He at like social media stuff and videos and promotion. And, you know, I think he went to school for advertise. I don't know, something to do with all that stuff, but he's really good at that. And so, you know, if I ever have any questions or I need something, I call him and we all talk about stuff. And so he's been a big help too. Okay. And, you know, he's put a lot of, you know, his own money. He went out and he bought some Resurrection Records banners and just like all kinds of stuff. We got, you know, passes, Resurrection passes for everybody. and things like that. But anyway, man, he's a cool guy. So if you haven't heard his stuff or checked out his testimony, his last record that he recorded was a huge dedication to his mother that passed away, and so that whole CD is very touching. If you know the story behind it.
Wow. Awesome.
But anyway, he's a great guy to have on your team for sure.
That is awesome, man. So what's next for Aaron Michaels, the artist?
Man. Well, we just, I released God of Miracles. I'd written that song at the same time I wrote Faith Over Fear, actually.
Yeah.
I wrote it the day before. I had a writing session with Joel Vaughn that Friday. And then I had a writing session with Jason Roy from Building 429 on that Saturday. And so the night before, that Thursday, I had a few ideas of what I was going to go in with Joel, and because he's more of a pop kind of, CCM artist. So I thought, well, let's go in and try to write something different, and so I had a few ideas, but Thursday night I had a dream, and I don't know if I've told you this or not, but my wife suffers with a disease called lupus and fibromyalgia, and so there's many nights and many days that I spend praying for her, and she's in pain a lot, and so that night, I was just praying for her that evening. I had this dream, and in that dream, he just kind of said to me in a voice that, I'm the God of miracles. Just have faith and trust me. I'm the God of miracles. And I was like, man, okay. And this melody came in my head. You are the God of miracles, And so I was like, okay, all right. So I've got part of it. So that's what I went in with, was that chorus right there. And I told Joel what it was about, and about my wife and what she struggled with. And he was like, man, let's just write a song about it and kind of write it from her perspective, how she feels and, how it makes you feel. And I was like, okay, let's do it. So, but anyway, yeah, that song, it means a lot to me, and it's doing really well. Nationally, it got up to number 6 last week on the worship chart. It was on there with, Chris Tomlin and Ann Wilson and Brandon Lake, I think was number 1, So I was like, man, this is pretty cool to be on the same charts as those guys.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
But anyway, yeah, so it's doing really well. And Change is probably one of our oldest songs, because me and the guitar player, Keith, I wanted him to come on tonight, but he had to work tonight. But we wrote that song a long time ago, and we kind of brought it back and kind of revamped it, I guess you could say.
There's some screamo in it.
Yeah. And we changed a few things. In it. But the basic, core of the song was there. And but I was like, you know what? We haven't released a new rock single since January, since Your Chains Are Breakable, which did really well. Yeah. It reached number 2 on the national chart. And so anyway, we wanted to do another one this year. We wanted to do another rock single this year. So we released Change. And I know you probably read the lyrics or whatever, but it just basically talks about how, when you become a Christian, you should have a change in your heart. You should be a different person. People should see you in a different way. And that's kind of what the song's about. And, finding that relationship with Jesus. And
you gotta let the old man die, man. You got to let the old man die and let the new one come through.
Amen. And
I've always said, I was away from God for a long time. And when I was away from God, everybody knew it. There was no hypocrisy. They just knew I was away from God.
Right.
So I would be a total hypocrite once I came back to God if I did not let people see and hear and know that I was with God.
Right.
So, that's why I dig on that Change song. So,
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, like I said, we wrote that, and I had a guest guitar player come in, a good friend of mine that I've been friends with. Me and Keith both, our guitar player, we've been friends with him for a long time, and he came in and played a few licks. That the little intro lick is him playing that, and the solos are him and Keith both going back and forth, and so it turned out great. I think it's one of my favorite songs that we do live. And so, but anyway, yeah, as far as, the future goes, we'll let that one ride for the rest of this year, probably into early next year. And
nice.
We've got another song that's on our EP. It'll be the last song we release off the EP. And it's called Never Forsake You. And it starts out with a big scream. So you're going to love it. Just for you.
Oh, nice. I love it, man.
But it's a little slower. It's still heavy, but it's a little slower.
Okay.
And so I think people are going to dig it, hopefully.
All right.
And
Can't
then
wait.
we've got a cover song we're working on, and I'm
Okay.
not going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
But
All right.
I will tell you this: it was one of the biggest songs in the 2000s.
Nope.
And now this is a secular song, okay? I don't want to give it away, but when I hear this song, I thought about Jesus. I thought about the sacrifice that he made for us, and so when I redo this song, I'm going to add a lyric in it.
Just so I'll play it, because I won't play a secular cover.
You won't play a secular cover.
Never have.
Well, this might have to be the first.
Well, then you better change a few lines in it, brother.
But yeah, so anyway, I don't know what kind of reaction we'll have from it, but we'll see, But like I said, I'm not going to say what it is yet, but I will say that I think it was a couple of months ago, it hit, I want to say 1 trillion streams.
Wow.
Maybe it was 1 billion. It was way up there, though.
Wow. Wow.
It's up there with like Don't Stop Believing or something, like stream-wise. Like
Aaron Michaels covering Beyonce.
Oh, it's not Beyonce, I promise you that. But anyway, no. So we're gonna do a cover, and then we've got another rock single we're working on that it's man, it might be one of our best that we're gonna put out. But and I'll tell you the name of it. But it's called "The Poison Killing Me," and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be real good. So. Nice. And we'll do that one. That'll probably be our last single of 2025 sometime. Okay. So that's what we're working on right now. And we just recorded last Sunday. We recorded a Christmas song. And
I saw that on Facebook.
So yeah, very excited about that. The Resurrection Records, I just told them, I said, hey, if some of you guys want to do a Christmas song, we'll put out a song list on Spotify. Resurrection Christmas or something. Nice. So I got, I think, 6 artists that decided they wanted to do it. And so I've heard some of them. I've heard Becoming Sons, and it's so good. And then Reborn is doing one, and Stars Will Fall is doing one. I'm doing one. I think Crimson Overtone is doing one. So it's going to be a good little Christmas EP. And we'll have some physical copies of that to buy online and at our shows and things like that. I'm going to mail them out to the artists that were involved in it. They can sell them at their merch tables or whatever, but just something
awesome.
different, something to do. So that's what we've been working on. We've been pretty busy.
Man, that's yeah. You know what it is we can't go this long, I guess, in between chats, man.
I know, right? That's too much to talk about.
It is. So I think we got to make it more of a regular thing, brother.
Absolutely.
Yep. Absolutely. And I look forward to sitting down and chatting with your artist, and hopefully we can get something set up with them. Yeah. Excited to talk about them. So there's a couple of your artists that I'm going to have to do a deep dive in and listen to a lot of their music first, because these are really the only thing that I really prep for. I never prep for my live shows. I just, whatever God wants me to say, I say. I'll throw a lineup together and pray over it, and I'm like, all right. And that's why, like on my pre-show posts, I always say, in no particular order, right? Because I might have how I'm going to play it, and then I start on my rants, like I am now. Right. And, it just comes to me that, nope, this song has to go next. So, yeah, I'll do a deep dive on your artists and check it out. But I would love to chat with them, man.
Heck yeah, man. I know they would love to chat with you and get to know you better and things like that. So we appreciate it. But yeah, after we get off here, I'll send all the info and things like that. So I am wearing my Radio 13 hat.
I see that. That's the Faith Over Fear one.
Yeah.
There you go. Here, check this out.
It's good. There it is. That's a nice hat right there.
Yep.
All right.
I was gonna wear my gray one, but it's not in my color wheel, so I couldn't.
Well, it's not. It's fall. Right. It's fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Fall, right?
Yeah. All right, brother, man. It's been great talking to you. I really appreciate it. I have a blast every time I talk to you, man, and we can't let it go that long next time.
Absolutely. Well, I appreciate you having me on, man. It's been a pleasure.
All right, Michaels, Resurrection Records. God bless you guys. God bless all your artists, and I know you're doing what God wants you to do. Take care, brother.